Hello, I'm David Prince. I'm not normally in front of the camera, but due to the circumstances, I will be bringing you 6 news stories put together by our students. They were shot and edited at home and then uploaded to us here at Lawrence County High School. To begin our newscast, we're going to go to Carly Kirk for an explanation of exactly what is the COVID virus and why is it making life here in Lawrence County so much different.
On December 31st, 2019, Chinese authorities alerted the World Health Organization of a new illness in the city of Wuhan. The new disease, coronavirus disease 2019, or COVID-19, spread rapidly, heavily affecting China and later heavily affecting Italy, before making its way into the United States with the first reported case in January of 2020. The first confirmed case in Kentucky occurred on March 6, 2020, and the first confirmed case in Lawrence County occurred on March 27, 2020, finally bringing the frightening global pandemic into our small county. Many are asking what this new disease is and why we should all be worried about it.
Coronaviruses are actually a large family of viruses that are typically zoonotic in nature, which means they originate in animals. There are currently 7 types of coronavirus that cause human infections, one being COVID-19. COVID-19 typically causes symptoms such as fever, cough, and shortness of breath. It is transmitted through close contact with an infected person or through droplets produced through their respiratory secretions. So these droplets are produced when they're coughing, when they're speaking, when they're sneezing. The virus can live on different surfaces such as plastic and metal. It can live on those surfaces for, it is believed to be, up to 3 days. It can survive on cardboard surfaces for up to 24 hours. You should always wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds or use an alcohol-based sanitizer. Also should cover your mouth whenever you cough or sneeze with tissues, dispose of them properly in the trash can, and wash your hands. The best way to prevent the spread is social distancing. It's to keep people away from each other so we don't continue to spread this disease. If you are in close contact with someone, that means within about 6 feet of someone that's infected, you can get it yourself. And it's not entirely known for sure yet, but it is believed that you can pass the virus before you ever even develop symptoms. Of course, you're most contagious if you're symptomatic. Coronavirus cases in the United States have exceeded about 82,000, which makes us the #1 infected country in the entire world. In Kentucky, we're right around 200 cases, and we're seeing pretty large increases in that daily. The best way that we can slow this down and to prevent it is to stay at home. Don't have large social gatherings. Don't go hang out with your friends. We have plenty of technology. You can call, you can FaceTime, you can Skype, you can Zoom. We all have social media. There are all kinds of ways to have social interaction without having actual physical contact with other people. And that's going to be the only way that we can prevent this thing from continuing to spread.
COVID-19 has been compared to the flu based on its nature. However, unlike the flu, little is known about the virus, and there is no existing vaccine. COVID-19 has also shown a higher hospitalization and mortality rate than the flu across all age groups. While the flu infects about 1.5 people for every infected person, the new coronavirus infects about 3 people for every infected person, making it twice as contagious. Due to this, the coronavirus is growing exponentially, affecting many and leading to hospitals overcrowding from all of those who need extra care, such as the use of a ventilator. The virus will continue to spread, but people practicing good hygiene and staying away from one another can slow the rate at which it spreads.
Thank you, Carly, for helping us to understand what we're dealing with and what we can do to slow it down. One way we can slow down the progression of this virus is through social distancing. Our Bailey Barker looks at this new method of social interaction.
Due to the outbreak of the coronavirus, social distancing has been encouraged by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Social distancing is the practice of staying at least 6 feet away from others in order to decrease the spread of the virus, working towards flattening the curve. To flatten the curve is to decrease the amount of infected individuals, ultimately decreasing the spread of the virus itself. The CDC has also encouraged individuals to stay out of mass gatherings, like parties, church, etc. It has been recommended by officials to self-isolate. Only leave the house for necessities like groceries and medicine. Obvious practices of hygiene, like washing your hands and not touching your face, have also been preached during this time. Because of self-quarantining, people have stocked up on food, leaving shelves barren. Grocery stores and the like have also taken precaution, placing signs and areas to stand in order to maintain social distancing. In light of the self-quarantining, I have asked some of my family members how they have approached the situation at hand.
I've practiced social distancing by staying in the house, not going to the store, and staying away from people. While I've been social distancing, I've been doing things like playing on trampoline and playing in the yard and stuff like that. I have enjoyed social distancing because I don't have to go to school.
To keep myself from going crazy, I have played an Xbox, worked out and did my work. That's it. And sleep. I do not like self-quarantine because I love being around people. I miss being around other people at school, and I hate being at home every day. I miss being around all my friends and getting to actually work out and stuff with real people instead of just my brother.
Personally, I'm not a fan of self-quarantining, but I understand the importance of it, like for flattening the curve and everything. I hate being in the house. I've been in the house a week longer than everybody else because I had the flu. During this break, I have read, I've done a lot of work. I have watched a lot of TV. I've made a lot of bracelets. I may start a business with my bracelet making. Who knows? I'm not sure yet. I really miss the outside world. I miss being able to like go out and just be like, hey, you want to meet me at McDonald's? Let's get a tea or something and sit in someone's car and talk. I miss being around people. I miss my friends. I miss going to school. It's tough, but it'll be okay. With social distancing, if we all practice it the right way and stay away from each other, everything will be fine.
Thank you, Bailey. The federal and state governments have been developing programs to best serve our citizens throughout this crisis. Our Shirley Colburn takes a look at how the federal government is dealing with this pandemic.
The government's response to the COVID-19 pandemic has been where, one, they're trying to pass the stimulus package, which is $2 trillion, which has the big business. It also has the small business, and it also will give the people, which is us and anyone that qualifies, so much per household, and if you have children, it'll be $500 per child. And they're hoping that that stimulates our economic system enough that we won't see something like the Great Depression. The other thing that they've done is companies are jumping in and they're actually making ventilators. They're making masks and all the other PPE that we need at this time. There are makeshift hospitals going on. Trump has deployed 2 of the biggest U.S. ships that are hospitals, and they will be taken over. They won't take the coronavirus patients, but they will take like the ICU patients that do not have the coronavirus. So they'll continue to get care while the main hospitals are dealing with just coronavirus. He's let the governors decide a lot on how much of shutting down of the state is going on. However, social distancing has been put in place for everybody. The government in general is trying to do the best that they can to keep us from getting like Italy, to where, they've had so many fatalities and that they are just totally overwhelmed.
The way that Kentucky's Governor Andy Beshear is handling the coronavirus in Kentucky has been very positive. He has made sure to take steps early enough so that way our state is prepared and that the outbreak won't be as hurtful. And he's been making sure to keep our state calm by having addresses every day, keeping us as updated as he can, and making sure that our state has the right stuff in order to take care of this. Making sure that we know everything that we need to, and he's really honest. He doesn't try to downplay it. He lets us know it's a serious thing and that people are going to die from it. But there are things that we can do, such as social distancing, that can help it not affect us as badly.
Thank you, Shirley. One big change here in Lawrence County was to our school system. Face-to-face classes were canceled and replaced with NTI, or non-traditional instruction days. Our Lexi Ratliff takes a look at how student life has changed here at Lawrence County High School.
It sucks, not being able to do anything, not be able to hang out with my friends, do all the things that seniors do, like graduation practice and get ready for prom and all that fun stuff. But it really sucks for us playing baseball and stuff. We work all year to get prepared for this, and we just get taken away from us. And obviously, it's out of our control. We can't do anything about it, but it still does. It still does suck.
With reported cases of COVID-19 in the United States, it has led to businesses having to either completely close down their doors or implement social distancing regulations to keep their businesses flowing. Schools, gyms, stores, churches, and restaurants have all had to alter the way they operate. Schools have started to utilize Google Classroom to cooperate with social distancing regulations made across the state. KHSAA has declared a dead period for sports, which means no practicing or games can be held. Unlike most schools, many colleges have transitioned to completely online classes for the rest of the school year. Gyms, churches, and hair salons are completely closed. Stores have altered their hours so that they can properly stock and clean their shelves up to CDC guidelines, and restaurants have moved to strictly drive-through, delivery, and pickup options. COVID-19 has completely changed the way people interact with one another, and hopefully, if we all do our part, we can quickly get back to our normal routines.
Thank you, Lexi. Our Katie May invites us inside her home to see how the closing of schools has affected her family.
The quarantine has changed everybody's way of life, I guess, but for me, I'm a teacher, I have 3 teenagers. It's more stressful than ever. I have to work all day, every day. I don't mind being at home though. I think the change is probably more negative just because it changes everybody's way of life and it's a stressful unknown.
This quarantine affects everyone's mental health in really big ways, and it has affected mine in a really more negative way than a positive. I just find it as sitting in the same exact place for hours at a time, doing nothing, and it's super, super boring. And it basically, this quarantine has made me feel like I'm losing my mind. And I'm pretty bummed about not being able to go out or do anything. And I really, really miss school a lot. I miss my friends. I just miss normal life.
This quarantine has not affected my mental health because I've been playing Xbox with my friends. The only change is I've been doing online classes and they're kind of stressful.
This quarantine hasn't really driven me crazy, but I do miss hanging out with my friends. And my birthday's coming up and it makes me very sad. Also, my 8th grade trip got canceled. Makes me very sad too.
Thank you, Katie. Lastly, our Darby Chapman offers up some ideas for dealing with the isolation that has become the new normal.
I know being quarantined in your house is boring for most people. That's why today I'm going to show you a bunch of fun things you can do in your house while being quarantined.
Number 1, do some baking. Number 2, read a book. Or 2, or 3. 3, try some target practice. You'll get better eventually. Number 4, spend some quality time with your pet. Number 5, watch a movie. Number 6, go for a family walk. Number 7, have a family game night, but make sure there's no cheating. Number 8, teach your family some really cringy TikToks.
Baby, come give me something on. 'Cause I can't stop.
Number 9, play some video games. Number 10, binge a new show. Number 11, sleep a lot. Number 12, make sure to talk to your friends. You'll miss them eventually.
Have fun, everybody, with all of the great things I've told you can do during quarantine, and stay safe.
Thank you, Darby, for those innovative ideas. I want to thank my students for their outstanding work under these trying conditions. I'm always proud of the work of the students here at Lawrence County High School. Everyone stay safe. Remember your social distancing. and wash your hands often. Until next time, this has been LC News.